What is good, everybody? Happy Tuesday. How are we? How the hell are you? I know I totally missed Valentine's Day last week, but happy Valentine's Day. You know, hopefully the love is in the air, whether you're with a partner, whether you're by yourself. You've got some self-love going on. I definitely spent Valentine's Day doing nothing special in particular. Um, But I enjoy myself. I actually spent a lot of time with myself this weekend, which we'll get into it soon. But before we get into it, because it is Black History Month and I want to support my childhood best friend with promoting her new products, this show is brought to you by Always Pray. Produced, owned, operated by Prai Woodkins herself. She's the CEO of this company called Always Pray, which is essentially, actually, she gave me a little thing to read. I was like, girl, send me your info because your stuff is so good. She produces a product it's called an empowerment board, which aligns perfectly with Perfection Unfolding because the whole goal of the empowerment board is so that you can map out your life and accomplish your goals and self-develop in a way that you can see on this beautiful uh, whiteboard. It's essentially a whiteboard that has different sections on it that you can plan to-do lists. You can put self-empowering messages on there. It's really incredible. It's a really incredible product. She has different patterns. So like a cityscape on one, and there's another version that's a little bit more of a boho vibe. Um, but essentially, the message of Always Pray is sometimes being a trailblazer focused on chasing your dreams can get hard and lonely. You deserve support from people who understand your lifestyle. Always Praise a lifestyle brand dedicated to uplifting creatives and entrepreneurs on their journey to finding success. There's content and products, aka the empowerment boards, curated to inspire, engage, and empower women specifically to follow their dreams. Men, I'm sure, are invited, but this is a brand specifically dedicated to empowering women. And she's a Black woman. It's a Black owned and operated business. And I actually went onto her website and pulled some stuff. So right now, like Always Pray, not only is it a lifestyle brand that's like geared towards fashion, music, pop culture. She's always posting blogs about like the latest trends, like undercover artists who are about to blow up. Like she's always got her finger on the pulse of that stuff. But it's also a community for entrepreneurs, for creatives, the dreamers of the world. Her and I have talked multiple times about how we feel alone in our journeys, how we're grateful for each other, but we just wish that we could connect to other entrepreneurs, women, creatives like ourselves, and that's exactly the kind of thing that she's cultivating through with Always Pray. She's got this new group going on the Geneva app for a community of aspiring growers. Um, Always Pray not only is a lifestyle brand, but it's also about self-development. She talks about different mental health things. She speaks to her own experience as a Black woman becoming an entrepreneur. So if any of this resonates with you, check out Always Pray. Right now, she does have the empowerment boards, but she's also got T-shirts with cute sayings. She's got bags right now, like cute little tote bags that are all about, embracing your soft girl era and that kind of messaging. She's so tired of being, the strong Black woman. She like wants to cultivate an environment for Black women to be soft, right? To be in their feminine, to just chill out. You know what I mean? Like they don't always have to be this thing that society says they are, because there's multifaceted people. You can do a million hundred different things, right? And it's time that we stop putting Black women specifically in these kinds of boxes, right? So on the Geneva app, for Always Pray, you can meet other like-minded multidimensional creatives and entrepreneurs seeking inspiration and empowerment in their personal and professional lives. You'll also be in the know for all the meetups that Always Pray schedules. So you'll be the first to know if you are in NYC, if you are listening in New York. Like there'll be local meetups for creatives and entrepreneurs, with like drinks and just like ways to network and get to know fellow women who are doing the same thing as you, which I think is super dope. It's also a place where you can express yourself authentically, where being yourself, you can make genuine connections with like-minded dreamers. network, and talk about fashion, beauty, music, wellness, and more. And yeah, so that's Always Pray. Check out the website. And also, you can get a 20% off discount if you subscribe to the community. So if you become a part of the Always Pray community or join the Geneva app, um, you will get a 20% off discount. The empowerment board is dope. It's really big. It's really sturdy. I have one at my house that I use. Um, I mean, I moved and I couldn't necessarily bring it with me, but when I am at home, I'm using it to make my to-do list, to put inspiring quotes to myself on there, to keep me and hold me accountable for like my weekly things I want to accomplish. It's a whiteboard. It's so dope. Like I've never seen a product before. Like I've only ever seen whiteboards, and there's good whiteboards and there's bad whiteboards, but they're all just white. None of them are inspiring. We spend all this money on planners that are cute and colorful and fun, and we never think like, what if that was on a whiteboard? And so Always Pray, Prasia filled in that gap, and she created that product. So highly encourage you to go check out Always Pray. I wanted to make sure I said that at the top of the show, so nobody missed it. But yeah, that's what I want to start off with. Always Pray. Go support my girl. Go support Black-owned businesses, and go support women. Moving on, let's get into our gift of gratitude section. So you know what it is. Find a comfy position. Again, if you're driving, just take a couple deep breaths. You don't close your eyes. Find a comfy position. Sit up nice and tall if you can. I'm sitting crisscross applesauce. And if you are able and if you're comfortable, just go ahead and close your eyes. And we're just going to take a couple moments to just sit and think about the things that we're grateful for. And then we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. So let's just take a moment. And let's go ahead and take that first deep inhale. Let's breathe in. Let's exhale. Nice deep breath in. Fill those lungs. And exhale. Get all that frustration out from the day. And last breath in together. And exhale. That always feels so good. Again, I can feel my inhales are a little bit shallow. Probably because I've been sitting hunched over for about 2 hours, just, grinding away on my computer. But hopefully that just is if you didn't give yourself any other time in the day to sit with yourself and give yourself a moment, you took that moment, you thought about some things that you're grateful for. Maybe it's your thoughts, maybe it's your body, maybe it's your job, maybe it's like the fact that you showed up for yourself in some way today. Some things I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for dance, right? With a capital D, like just dance, all kinds of dance. I'm grateful for my body and its ability to dance to music, to interpret music, to move to music, to be so incredibly inspired by music, and to express it in this physical way. I'm grateful, like I said, for my body. I've been weight training recently, and I'm going on week 5 now. Last week, I didn't weight train the 4 days that I wanted. I weight trained, I think, 3 days, and or maybe it was only 2. It was a bit of a weird week. But I'm going on week 5, and I'm getting stronger. Like I can feel my muscles, and I can see my muscles building, and I can not only can I feel them with my hands, but I can feel them in my strength. Um, yeah, I'll get into a little bit more in a little bit, but I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for my network of friends. Like they are the real MVPs. I've reached out to several friends over the last week because last 2 weeks because I've been struggling, and that's been a goal of mine is to just reach out and lean on my people. And I've been doing that, and it just feels amazing to really be reminded that I'm supported in every way. Like there's not a single person in my life that I'm close to who does not ride for me, who does not is not like a ride or die. Um, and also and vice versa. Like I ride for my motherfucking friends. Excuse my French, mama. My mom's been complaining that I'm dropping too many F-bombs on the podcast, but I'm like, you know what? It's my creative expression. Don't hinder me, okay? But yeah, I'm grateful for my network of friends. I'm grateful for my inner circle. I'm grateful for my peripheral circle of friends. I'm grateful for my acquaintances. I'm grateful for people who just like look out for me and know me even though and like they help me out even though they don't have to, right? I'm grateful for my progress in my self-soothing journey and abilities. Um, I've had to self-soothe a lot recently, like not just recently in the last 2 weeks, but recently just in the last quarter of my year, of the last 4 months. There's been so much self-soothing and so much like having to show up for myself and reassure myself and validate myself and love myself. And with every disappointment, with every heartbreak, with every challenge, with every moment of discomfort, I'm continually sharpening that skill, sharpening that tool. And ultimately I'm grateful for it, even for those opportunities, even though they suck um, when you're in the thick of them. But I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my ability to self-soothe myself. I'm grateful for my ability to grow where I'm planted, which is going to be a massive theme for today's episode. And I'm grateful for my self-awareness, which I think has been the greatest skill I have developed in my lifetime in the last, 28 years I've been alive is my increasing self-awareness. Like period. It has been the catalyst for all of the change and all of the self-development I've been able to make for the better. Sometimes they say knowledge is power, but it can also be depressing. But I choose to believe that like my self-awareness, like the knowledge I come in contact with, I come into awareness of is incredibly empowering because it's like you can't change something if you don't know it, right? And if you don't know it, it's like yeah, you're just stuck, right? So I'm grateful for my self awareness, and hopefully, some of these examples give you an idea of things that you can kind of maybe you didn't think that you could be grateful for, right? Like anything's on the table. You could be grateful for the doorknob in your house that separates you from the outside world. Like it could be anything. And that's what I love about this practice is just practicing it, so that you can remind yourself that there are good things happening in your life. There are helpful things around you always. Like there's always something to be grateful for. Always, 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 always. And because I've been in such a kind of weird turmoil, tumultuous kind of internal world recently, this practice has been very, very important to me because it's not all doom and gloom. Like if I ever feel that my life is all doom and gloom, like I am doing something wrong because everything is a choice, right? You can choose your perspective. You can choose to see the negative in everything. You can choose to see the positive in everything. But I like to live in a balance. I like to be somewhere in the in between. Like there's always going to be negative and positive things occurring around you. There's always going to be unhelpful and helpful things happening around you at all times. But you get to choose the lens that you view the world through, and sometimes things just suck, and the last thing you want to do is invalidate that experience. It's like just let it suck, be mad, be angry, be sad, but also know that like that's not the whole story. Feel your feelings, they're valid 100%, but just know like there's always something else. um you can always choose a different choice. And so yeah, that's the gratitude section. Some life updates. um Also, oh my god, like I've totally forgot to intro the show. For those of you who are still here, you're listening to another episode of Perfection Unfolding with me, Cara G. This is a podcast all about self development. It's philosophy. It's my digital diary, where I kind of talk you through what I'm going through and give you the tools that are helping me along my way. Yeah, wow, I just jumped right in there, didn't I? My goodness. Um, some life updates. I actually, for the first time since I've been here, went out dancing. I attended the LA Bachata Festival out here in, I think it was in Burbank actually. Never been. I've only been to two other congresses, one in Las Vegas like 2 years ago, and then the Houston, yeah, salsa congress last January. And I haven't danced in 3 months. Like I haven't been out dancing since before I moved. So I have been itching to dance since I moved out here, and I finally made time to go. Did I spend money I maybe shouldn't have spent? Absolutely, I did. But some things are just worth it. And let me tell you something. Like I needed this weekend. I used this bachata festival as my artist date. I have been between you and me. I've been slacking on my artist dates. I've been doing my morning pages every morning, but my artist dates, for whatever reason, like I'm in my brain. I guess I've hindered myself. I've blocked myself um, from thinking that there are artist dates around me that would make sense because I live on a mountain with like a very low population. So there aren't a whole lot of like things to do around here. But to be honest, that's just me making excuses because going on a walk and or going hiking or whatever, like that would count as my artist date, like going out in nature. So I just decided not to make any excuses this week and or really this month. And I was like, I'm going to this thing. I'm going to go for the day. I'm going to do the workshops all day and then I'm going to social dance all night, and that's exactly what I did. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with like Latin dance or even just dance culture in general, a congress is basically like a convention. It's like you go, you take class from instructors from all over the world all day, and then at nighttime they have a show with performers of those instructors dance. Students will perform, um, and because it's a bachata festival, it's Latin dance, so it's salsa, it's bachata, it's kazumba, it's zouk, it's all these different styles, and it's really inspiring. And then at night after the show, people social dance, which is just partner dancing, doing salsa, bachata, till 5 a.m. Like from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. There's just dancing all night. And it's an insane culture, but it's so freaking fun. And I just want to shout out like all the wonderful people that I met over the weekend, that I got to dance next to and dance with. Um, I got to be in like some of the videos that the instructors took at the end of their classes just because I volunteered, and I got tagged in them on social media, and that felt really good. Um, there were a lot of people who came up to me and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you're so good. Like, what's your background? What do you do?" And I was just like, I started a couple years ago, but I've been dancing my whole life. And I think it was just really not that I need validation, but it just feels so good when you get it. Like, um, I also realized, even though I've known this for a while, like, I am finally surrendering to the fact that I need to be dancing. Like, dancing is a part of my purpose. Like, it's what I'm supposed to do because every time I go into a room and I start dancing and I really start just giving it my all and just doing my thing, people come up to me and they're in awe and like they're inspired. And, I've gone to several dance conventions, um, in like a separate set of the dance world where it's not Latin dancing, it's like jazz, hip hop, um, contemporary, modern, like that type um, of style, those type of styles where I'm learning choreography from people who dance with the top music artists in the industry. Like Janelle Janestra is like my dance, idol. My dance freaking muse. I'm obsessed with the way she moves and the way she dances. And I think I said this before on the podcast, but like, one time she gave me a scholarship and she told me I needed to dance. I needed to move out to LA. And I never did. Um But like that was, when I was in college and I felt like I was fat and untalented, because I hadn't danced in so long. And so it's just like I just know that I'm supposed to be dancing. And I think this weekend just kind of solidified that because I did find dance again 2 years ago, and then I've kind of and over this last 3 months I've been without it. It's become very clear to me like, no, like I never want to live without dance ever again. So I'm back at it, even though I won't be able to like dance all the time at the moment. 100% as soon as I'm able, like I am going to be training. I am going to become a salsera. I'm going to perform. I'm going to go all out. Like I want to be on that stage. I want to be teaching classes. Like I don't care what it is, even if it's not salsa. Like I want it to be a part of my life full time, like 100%. So I'm gonna do what it takes to make that happen. We'll see what that looks like. I want to train more, and I want to be with people who live in the world of wanting to better themselves, especially through dance. Like the thing about salsa, about social dancing specifically in the Latin world, and I know I'm going on a little bit of a rant here, but the thing that's so incredible about it is that because a lot of times it starts off with people who've never danced before, like I would say like pedestrian, dancers with no background, like you start social dancing and then you want to get better and better and better and better. You get addicted to it because of the connection, because the better of a dancer you become, the more connected you can be with the people you dance with. And it's just this thing where you get this high, like you get this dopamine hit that just keeps on giving. Because when you dance alone, yeah, that's one thing, right? That's you self expressing. That's amazing. But when you social dance, you're connecting with people from all over the world, with all different walks of life, all different jobs, all different baggage, all different everything. But it doesn't matter because the music's on and like you're just vibing. It's literally vibes. Like it is vibes like it personified. And it's this amazing, beautiful experience. And if you've ever thought about it, if you're ever thinking about it, like just try it out. Now, I met so many people this weekend who teach and dance at studios all over California. And I am so excited because now I follow them on Instagram and I can go to their studios and be like, oh, like I remember you. So that's what I think I'm gonna do at least once a month is like go out to LA, get a hotel for the night and just take class and go to socials because here's the thing, like I've been afraid to do things alone out here. A because money and B because it's just risky, right? But like life is going to happen with or without me and I want to be a part of it. So that was like my big update. It's like I went dancing and I feel so rejuvenated. Like I feel like I've been so confined and constricted and weighed down the last couple weeks. My own doing, at the end of the day. And I just told myself, I was like, I don't care how much this costs, like I have to go do it. Like I will pay myself back. This is such an integral part of my personhood, of my personality. Like um so there's that. Also, update, I'm better this week, mostly due to the fact that I went dancing. Like I literally danced from 10 a.m. till 5 a.m. the next day. Like it was crazy. My feet hurt. But what was wild is the fact that I've been, weight training and working out up here in the mountains with the elevation. And when I went down there, it was like I was a freaking track star. Like the only reason why I stopped dancing was because my feet were gonna fall off because they were hurting so much from my shoes, from my heels. Other than that, like I had so much energy left, which was crazy. Um, I'm very impressed with myself. So it's like, yeah, I'm getting stronger. Like my workouts are working. My booty was looking juicy and my little pants. I was like, oh, okay, girl, come on. Like I hadn't felt, this is a big piece of it too. I haven't felt sexual or sensual at all since I've been out here. Like I've been wearing freaking baggy jeans and sweaters every day because it's cold. And not really putting on makeup on, not really caring too much about my appearance because you know, work at a camp. And I finally like I put some makeup on and I slicked back my hair in my little ponytail. I put my little earrings on and I put like a cute little like all black outfit on and my little salsera heels. And I went out dancing and I felt so beautiful and so sexy and just dancing and just expressing myself and fucking being the little wiggly worm that I am. And not even because I was dancing with men or getting attention from men, but just because people could feel my energy, like because I come alive when I'm like doing the thing I love, and so that was also like a really nice piece of it. Not to mention, I got to stay in a hotel room all by myself, with no one around, which was lovely too. But so I'm better this week, and I want to say like um I keep having to remind myself how important it is to fill my cup up in all the ways that I can, like in all the different areas of my life. Like I can't just leave one cup empty and think that I can continue producing, continue moving on at 100%. Like it's just not possible. And I know I've been talking about dance a lot, but it's such a big piece of my life. Like I thought, coming out here, I missed it immediately. And I just thought, okay, well, I'll do it when I can, right? And like that'll be enough, but it's just not enough. Like I've put into my 12-week plan that I'm currently working, dancing twice a week, doing cardio twice, like cardio through dance twice a week. Whether that's learning a routine, practicing a routine I already know, freestyling, whatever it is, like I have to do it. I have to incorporate it in my life. I can't just wait around for classes because I'll go crazy. um, and also like this is also a reminder that like, how important the artist date is. Like the artist date is literally time by myself doing creative things that I love, right? And I've been doing a lot of things, trying to build my business, trying to build out the website for the podcast, working out, sticking to my routine. But the creativity piece of there it's not always revealed, you know, by itself. Like I have to actively go out of my way and pursue that artist date, pursue that time alone to just to do something that little Cara loves. And little Cara loves to fucking dance, bro. So I'm gonna give her what she wants because she deserves the world. Um, in other news, I am going to Texas for the weekend. My sister's having a baby shower. Shout out my sis. She's gonna have a little baby girl, which I'm so excited about. I'm gonna be an auntie to another little girl, which is super exciting. But that being said, I'm gonna be in Dallas for a day on Monday, Feb 26th. And I was gonna put some feelers out there to see if anybody wanted to take dance class, but I just said screw it. I rented the space. And I'm gonna be teaching class on Monday. So I will be posting a flyer about that. Literally today. It's Tuesday. So as you're listening to this today, go to my Instagram and check out the info on that. I'll be doing a pop-up class for hip hop and a pop-up class for heels on Monday. Hip hop at 7, heels at 8:30. It's gonna be an hour and a half for each. $20 a pop. Only 10 slots a piece. So if you want to come, if you want to see me in real IRL, come take dance class. Again, details on my Instagram, just because I don't want to bog you down with too much info. But again, my Instagram is at Cara G Campbell. So info there, payment, time, place, will all be on the flyer. Share it with your friends. If you can't make it, tell your friends of friends. And so I'm excited about that. So I'll only be in Dallas for one day, unfortunately, because I got to fly back and keep working. But hopefully I can see some of you guys who listen and come dance with me. I'm gonna do my first heels class. I've taken many heels classes, but I've never actually taught one. But coming off this weekend at the Bachata Festival, I took a burlesque class and I took a heels class, and I was just like, yo, like I could do this. This is so much fun. Like, so I want to bring that to the Dallas community, my flavor of heels. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be sexy. It's gonna be sensual. And then my hip hop class is for adult beginners. So we do foundations, we do some choreography. We're gonna have a lot of fun there too. So come check me out. Ow. Again, at Cara G Campbell. Look for the flyer today. I'll probably post it sometime around lunchtime. So let's get into that. Brings me to the topic of the week. So I spoke earlier about, being grateful for growing where I'm planted. And that is something that has been resonating so hard. Like it is such a lesson that I've needed to learn in every way. Because up until I left my last 9-to-5 job last year in June, I have always been very big on security and safety, specifically with money, right? And it's always been a priority of mine to make more money if I can, and to keep pushing forward and to keep building that security. Like, I bought a condo when I was 26 because I did not like the way it felt to to have my living situation controlled by some company, renting an apartment. Like I had to fight so many people, just leaving apartments. Like I'd have to fight with the management company to get my deposit back. And then, they were going to raise my rent $100 or $200 at my last apartment I had. And I was just like, you know what? I don't care what I have to do. I'm never renting again because it just felt so volatile. It felt so unsafe. It felt so insecure, I guess, not secure. And that's such a big piece of what helps me thrive, is like feeling secure and feeling safe in my life, in my finances specifically. And I think I've been working through a lot of the money blocks that I have, um, so that I can make more money, or just be open to more money, because I think there's a piece of me in my head that has scarcity mindset, that thinks I'm not going to have enough, that thinks nothing's ever going to be enough. But it's just not true. And like I've been really doubling down on that. And so a big piece of what I've been going through recently is I haven't had any security financially, like at all, since I left my last 9 to 5 job. I left my 9 to 5 job last year. I did a handshake deal for a freelance contract gig for that lasted 6 months. And then now I'm here, and I'm making about half the amount of money that I've made a year ago at my 9 to 5 job, annually. And so that just it going from, more to less never feels good financially. Um, but I've been trying to lean into like taking more risks. It's like take more risks so that I can reap more rewards. And so with that there's come a lot with the risk, there's come a lot of discomfort, right? I've been talking a lot about being uncomfortable, being in discomfort, sitting in discomfort, like increasing my capacity to be able to handle discomfort and being uncomfortable. And so that brings me to like my most recent experience. And I wrote a quick little thing like about what I've been going through, because I mentioned it a little bit last week, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this is pretty much the gist of what I've been going through, and then we'll get into the topic. So recently I became incredibly frustrated with the people around me and with my current environment when I realized there isn't anyone here that I truly connect with or feel seen by. After coming to this conclusion, it hurt my feelings, especially when I came into this experience with an open heart and mind. Naturally, my reaction was to flee, to get a new job back in Texas, to run into the arms of friends and family whom I know and love, and whom I know love and adore me. Knowing that no one here really cares about me triggered this deep wound in me and sent me into a familiar place in my psyche where I feel misunderstood and unimportant and probably not worthy of love, aka a place of like instability and discomfort. A place I don't find myself in very often anymore. So it was jarring being sent there by people who shouldn't have had that much power over me in theory. It's funny because there isn't anything wrong with the environment or people I'm around. It's just not a match for me energetically. I no longer want to spend time around people who aren't lit up by me or me by them. I'm looking for fuck yes experiences, and it's okay that this is no longer where I want to spend my time. However, knowing I can't just get up and leave all willy-nilly because hashtag capitalism, I began to self-soothe myself and remind myself that this isn't the end of the world. People are going to misunderstand me everywhere I go, probably from now on into eternity. The truth is, I have always felt misunderstood and unseen everywhere I've ever been or worked. I think the truth of the matter is that it just burned a little more in this case under these circumstances because it's being coupled with a breakup and a job loss all within the time frame of a few months. I think my heart just couldn't bear another disappointment, and yet it had no choice. To be honest, I know nothing anyone does has anything to do with me. That doesn't make accepting the reality of my situation any less hurtful. That being said, I reminded myself that I am the variable in my life I have control over. I decided what kind of experience I want to have, and I refuse to just endure my life in hopes that something better will come along. I choose to enjoy it. I choose to choose it with a fuck yes kind of energy. I'll always be looking for ways to level it up, but I choose to be present through it all, no matter how ideal it is or isn't. I choose to grow where I'm planted. And so this is kind of speaking to the relational side of feeling, unsecure and unsafe. Um, and I was speaking earlier about the financial side, but coupled in with this experience is also a unsafe financial situation because, I'm not able to do all the things that I would like to do or save the money I'd like to save. Um, and that is coupled alongside, being around people who don't necessarily care for me that much, and it's, apathy's so they say the opposite of love is fear, but I heard recently it's like the opposite of love is indifference. And indifference does not feel good. Like, it does not feel good to be around people who are indifferent towards you. Like, if you were to just get up and leave, nothing would matter. Nothing would change. It would impact a total of no people, And that's just not something that I'm really into anymore. Like, I've never been into that, to be honest with you, but it's not something I'm interested in experiencing anymore. And to be honest, this being here has, given me the opportunity to come to the realization of like, I'm going to grow where I'm planted. Whereas I think in the past, like at my 9 to 5, for instance, that lesson would have been lovely to know because I would have stayed at that job and made it work for me more so than feeling like I needed to get out of there because it was so uncomfortable and like I was so I there were certain, individuals I didn't want to be around anymore and I just needed to get out. I needed to get out, which was my first reaction here when I realized that people were indifferent to me here. I was just like, I got to get out of here. These aren't my people. Like, I have to move and I have to get a new job and I have to do this and I have to do that. It's like, then I would just be reliving the lesson that I was supposed to learn a year ago. The fact of the matter is, I don't need to do anything. I can chill, right? Like, there's no rush. And so I want to get into a journal entry that I actually wrote the day before Valentine's Day, which was the day I kind of came to this realization of like grow where you're planted. And it goes like this: 5:42 a.m. because I've been waking up super early to get all my things done. February 13th, 2024, day 129 of my morning pages. It's been 129 days. That's crazy. I wrote, in order to make this happen, it has to be sustainable. This being my dream life. Slow and steady. Jumping into the unknown will teach you a lot really fast, but it isn't going to solve your problems. Shutting down isn't going to solve your problems either. We need an exit strategy. We said we'd give ourselves 12 weeks. Let's fucking follow through. Let's make it happen. Operation Launch Your Business. Operation Book Your First Client. Operation Make Money from Your Podcast. Operation Fucking Do It Here. Be where you are. Own your choice. Use this time. Use it. You asked for this. Give yourself until spring. Endure this winter. Focus on yourself and your health and give yourself a shot. Operation Make Content. Operation Book VA Clients. Virtual assistant. Operation Use Your Network and Make It Work and make it happen. The goal is to work remotely, so let's fucking figure it out. Don't keep distracting yourself with unnecessary struggle, giving yourself a false sense of productivity, i.e., trying to move back to Texas and find a new job. Your job is easy. The people are fine. You've accepted your reality. Great. That's step 1. You've rearranged your finances. The least you can do is beef up your savings more before the leap. Yes, you are going to leap into your zone of genius. But first, you're going to have to figure it out from here. From where you are. Your people are your people no matter where you are. Things cost money no matter where you are. Thrive in the soil you're planted. Use this as an opportunity to alchemize. Limit their access to you and create your own little bubble of magic. Buy the light. Buy the tripod. Set yourself up for success. This is a time for abundance, not scarcity. If and when you figure this out and make it happen, you will be the proudest of yourself you've ever been. This is a season of life you'll never get back. Squeeze the juice from it. Level up the podcast. Level up yourself. Get in the best shape of your life. Be a product of your own mindset, not of your environment. Make your environment better by becoming better. If you can master this, you can do anything. I'm proud of you and your vision right now. Oh no, I said, I'm proud of you and your wisdom right now. This is no time for ego games. You are safe. You are supported. Yes, you are uncomfy, but you are taken care of and safe. I got you. There is no rush. I don't chase. I attract my dream life. She comes to me and we live peacefully together. Thank you. I love you. Whew. So I wrote that, and it's like, you'll see, you can kind of hear that I'm talking to myself in second person, like you, let's make it happen. Like I'm talking, like I say we a lot, like me and my higher self, me and little Cara. Like when I have conversations like this in my journal, like this is my higher self giving me a pep talk. Like these are my guys, this is my guardian angels, whatever you want to call them. Like they are talking to me, and they're giving me real talk. They're giving adult Cara some real talk. And it's supportive, but it's also very stern. And at the end of this, you can hear me, you literally hear me say, like, you're uncomfy right now, but you're taken care of and you're safe. And just that sentence alone has been is something I have to continue reminding myself of, because, little me does get frustrated and scared and like, we're not going to thrive here and we're not going to make this work. And, and she listens to my ego, because my ego is just like, you're right. We're in danger, but my higher self, my evolved self, my self-aware self is the part of me that's like, no, like we're good. Like, to be honest with you, all we need to do is switch around our finances and you'll have money to spend. Like, it's okay that you're not saving, $700, $800 every month. Like, you have an emergency fund, you have investments. Like, it's okay that for a couple months you chill on those until you make until you make a little bit of extra cash, right? Like, don't sit here and live. I'm talking to myself, right? Like, I don't have to sit here and live in this energy of like, I can't afford that. I can't do that. I can't do anything fun. I can't have my artist dates. I can't do that because, I have these big financial goals. It's like sometimes things need to be put on the back burner, right? Sometimes you have to make adjustments so you can live a high quality life where you're at. And this is not to say that financial, responsibility isn't important. It absolutely is. But sometimes the part of financial responsibility is you taking care of yourself in whatever way that looks like. I'm not talking about splurging on stuff that you don't care about. I'm talking about spending money, and specifically in my case, spending money on things that you do care about, that you do value, that enhance your quality of life, especially if you can afford it. You know what I mean? I've been I've been trying to keep the same financial goals I had when I was making twice the money, and like putting them on the financial means I have now, which just does not work. Like I think earlier this month I overdrafted my account because I took out so much savings, and I was like, that's not possible, right? And at first I was like, I need to make more money. I need a new job. And then I thought to myself, I was like, okay, what do I have now to work with? And what I have now to work with is just a smaller savings budget so that I can have a little bit more spending cash so I can go take dance class, because it's so important to me and it fills my cup up so much, and so I can um buy the high quality food that I know will nourish my body. It's doing those things, and to be able to afford the life that's important to me, even if it's like a smaller scale, right? Like I'm trying to build a life that's important to me with like a bare bones skeleton with like the finances that I have at the moment, but I know that this is just temporary, right? And I have to source the security in the environment and in the space I have now, with the finances I have now, with the opportunity I have now, right? I need to work with what I have. I need to grow where I'm planted, exactly as I said, because nothing else is true right now except for what is. And so that's what I have to focus on. I have to focus on what I do have, the abundance I do have, and make that work for me. And then call in more as I'm able, right? Operation book my first client. I'm more than capable of doing that for my coaching business. It's just a matter of focusing and putting my energy there. I have all the skills, you know? It's just I have to put myself out there and let people know that that's a service that I provide. Right? I have this podcast. Like there are opportunities for me to get sponsorships and to work with brands that that align with my values, right? I think a big block that I have is like, I'm not just going to support any brand. I'm not going to do the Blue Chews or the Athletic Greens or products that I don't actually use or don't believe in or think that aren't healthy for you, right? Like integrity is my biggest piece in building anything. So, I'm not just going to launch my website without having the things on there that I think are important. like that, without having the value that I really want to offer. But those are things I'm focusing on in this 12 weeks that I've got going for myself in my plan. And so I just really want to share that message. I wanted to share that message of grow where you're planted. Like if you're in a season of drought, well, guess what? There are plants that grow in the midst of droughts. Cacti, the sequoias that grow to be 10 feet tall or more. Right? They soak up the water that they can get their hands on, and they use that to thrive for the rest of the season. And sometimes you are going to be in a desert. You are going to be in a dry spell, but there's no reason why you cannot use the specific minerals in that soil to your advantage, because everything has a benefit if you look at it in with the right perspective, through a helpful lens, right? And so with that, that's the growing where you're planted. That's where I'm at right now in this season. It's like every other season in my life, like I have kind of put myself in, more cushiony soil, right? Like I've kind of had the ability to choose kind of where I wanted to be planted, and kind of have more stability, and more like consistency in like how I was watered, and the sunlight that I was given. Whereas now it's a little bit less ideal, like I feel more like a dandelion that's kind of like the seeds just flew through the air all willy-nilly and just kind of landed somewhere. Now I'm working with the soil that I've been presented. I'm working with the nutrients that are at my disposal. I'm choosing to not just see it as a pile of shit, right? But to see it as compost, to see it as fertilizer, right? Because shit is fertilizer. You know what I mean? You can literally take shit and use it to grow the most luscious, delicious fruits, veggies, what have you, flowers. And so that's what I'm choosing to do. Um, and it's like I don't even think that my situation even is shit. I think at first, like you could say, yeah, it's not ideal. But then you start to think about it, you start to look at it, you're like, well, I could do this, and maybe I could teach dance classes at the city, the sister city that's like right down the street, 10, 20 minutes. Maybe I could reach out to this person, or maybe I could do that, or maybe, just my once I start entering that space where like possibility exists and curiosity exists, this magical thing starts happening, and like my creativity starts going off the wall, and it's like, well, it's really not that bad. You know what I mean? I'm safe. I'm secure. Like there's a roof over my head. I have my own room. I have access to Wi-Fi. And you start getting into this whole like this vein of gratitude and being grateful for where you are and being grateful for where you're planted. Because before I kind of I was blocking myself from being able to see all the value that's in this experience, because I've already gotten so much value out of it. Whether it's directly from what I'm doing, or just being in this space, being in my cave, sitting with myself, right? And again, it's not to negate the fact that like some parts of your experience can be shitty, and allow them to be shitty. But guess what? That shit can also be fertilizer if you allow it. Or it could just be a cow patty, it just hardens over and petrifies in the middle of a field. It's your choice. You can either let it be there and harden up and get crusty dusty, and even so hard that the flies don't even want it, or you can rake that shit out and spread it across your field and let those freaking bacteria and shit just new like fertilize the shit out of your pastures and out of your crops. And I'm taking this analogy all the way. I'm gonna rake this shit up. I'm gonna freaking mix it with some banana peels and some compost, and we're gonna make some delicious ass motherfucking fruit. Because guess what? Like, I refuse to do anything else. I refuse to let it be anything else. I refuse to just endure. I'm going to enjoy every part of my life in every season of my life. I'm going to choose that. Because what else is there? Think about it. What is the other choice? You just want to be miserable? Or even worse, indifferent? Oh my God, I can't think of anything worse than being apathetic about my life. Like, I'd rather be dead. You know what I mean? And apathy, whether we like it or not, is a choice. It's all a choice. Like, if you're depressed, you can choose to engage in actions that are helpful for you. Eating nutritious food, getting good night's sleep, drinking water, doing the baseline physical things so that it helps your mental. You know, when we're happy, there, like, yes, there are going to be times when we're not as elevated, but like there are things you can do to maintain that to a certain degree by, you know, doing your artist dates, like tapping into your creativity, eating nutritious food, getting good sleep, connecting with your friends, doing things you love, right? Expressing yourself. Oh my God, that's a massive one. With dance, that's been the biggest thing I've been missing is the expression of myself. I haven't been able to express myself verbally in like these deep ways with the people around me recently, but I gave myself the gift of expressing myself through dance, you know? And so anyway, that's, that's the message I want to leave you with the growing where you're planted, and just give you some hope that things get better, and also remind you everything is temporary. Joy is temporary, sadness is temporary, frustration is temporary. Like the 2 weeks that I was so frustrated, like I blew up at my coworkers. I felt really bad about it, but then I needed to express that, right? And I got it out. And even though it wasn't the most ideal way, like it still happened, and it let me get through my wave of emotion, and reach the destination of like, chill out. It's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need validation from these people. I don't need connection from these people. Um, what I need in my bare bones, like the bare bones of what I actually need to thrive, is safety and security. Like, and I have that, right? I was perceiving that I wasn't financially safe or secure. I was perceiving that I wasn't, you know, safe or secure in my relationships, but I am. Like, I was just perceiving, I was just expecting more from these people than they could give. And that's disappointing, but it's just the truth, and it's okay. But I just had to go through that whole experience to just come to that conclusion, you know? And that's also okay. Um, and that being said, like I was gonna get into some other stuff this week, but I think that's good. I think I'm gonna keep these episodes to about an hour. Um, that feels like a good amount of time to get a message across. It feels like a good amount of time just to listen. You know, I know 2 hours is a long time. Um, and that was the message I wanted to give you guys this week. That was the thing that was on my chest. Like when I was looking through all the messages I was sending myself through Instagram, all of these graphics of like there was this one graphic I saw that was really beautiful. It was essentially is a picture of a woman like laying down, a picture of a woman kind of in the fetal position with like roots growing from her into the ground, and then a picture of that woman like in child's pose with roots growing into the ground and a flower kind of growing up. And it's so perfect. It's like it's the first picture of her laying down says discomfort. The second picture of her kind of starting to grow says acceptance. And then the third picture of like the flower sprouting from her back, it says growth. And it says this is what healing looks like: discomfort, acceptance, and growth, which is literally the cycle I've been going through, over and over and over and over and over again in small ways and in large ways since I've been alive, but at least since I've been conscious of my healing journey since back in 2017. So it's been a wild ride. Like that's almost 7 years of this cycle. And like sometimes it happens on a daily, like it happens like several times a day, and sometimes I can look back and I can just see all the flowers that I've fucking sprouted from my fucking back. Um, from the big stuff too, from this breakup, from this lost job, from my previous jobs, from all the things I've learned about myself outside of work, all the things I've learned about myself creatively, all the things that I've sprouted in friendship and in relationship. And just this weekend, like I sprouted like a ton of flowers, you know? And like just from this one revelation, right? Grow where you're planted. I've heard that before, but I've fully embodied it at this point. I'm embodying it actively in real time. And just some final thoughts I have about it. I wrote, grow where you're planted. Plants are incredibly resilient, and so are you. There is always a loophole you can find in any situation you find yourself in to thrive. Sometimes that looks like hibernation and or surviving, just in your internal world. Sometimes that looks like having to take action and put yourself in the way of things you love or that light you up. Whatever it is always a choice to enjoy your life where you're at. Maybe it takes you putting down what you thought you wanted or needed and picking up what you actually need to get where you're going. But either way, I hope you choose to choose your life as it is and continue to keep your desires close to your heart, always inching and working towards them one step at a time. Fertilize the soil that surrounds you with love and hope and trust, and I know you'll create the life you love. And so, with that, let me leave you with some affirmations. Again, I invite you to hear them for yourself as I say them for me. I can do hard things. Being uncomfortable is not the end of the world. I enjoy my life exactly as it is. It is a gift to be challenged. It is a gift to be alive. I am grateful for the rejection that redirects me. I am grateful for my discernment. I look forward to the life I know I'll have while enjoying the life I'm living now. I am continuously calling in more abundance, success, and love. This is the year my success shocks me. Thank you for the messages, universe. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the wisdom. I love you very much. And so with that is episode 15 of Perfection Unfolding. You guys, 15, that's halfway to 30. That's insane. As always, like, subscribe, follow the podcast on Instagram at perfectionunfoldingpod. Starting next week, I will be recording video versions of the podcast. And clipping them up for you and posting them on Instagram. That is something that has been a massive goal of mine since I started this. And it only took me 15 episodes in to get it started. So you do not want to miss the clips. They'll be shareable. You can send them to your friends. Hopefully they're relatable. Follow the podcast on YouTube at Perfection Unfolding Pod. There will always be audio versions that live on YouTube. So follow us there. Or it's Perfection Unfolding with Cara G on YouTube. But I will also be posting clips on YouTube, repurposing them for, on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. I haven't made a TikTok yet, but it is in the works. And also the website's coming soon, but until then, you can find me at caragcoaching.com if you're interested in any one-on-one life coaching, health coaching, relationship coaching. I am certified and I'm happy to help. So with that, thank you guys so much for listening. I love you so much. You can also, if you want to email the pod at perfectionunfoldingpod@gmail.com. I am happy to take requests for topics that you guys are curious about. And, if you have a question you want to pose to me, then I'd be happy to help you out answering that on air. So that's all I've got for you guys. Again, this has been Perfection Unfolding with me, Cara G, and I will talk to you guys next Tuesday. Okay, bye!